What's going on, my friends? I'm Rick, and you see the table. I'm out here working in the field, currently waiting for somebody to show up here at this restaurant. They don't generally get here until a little before 9 a.m. and it's not even 20 after yet. So this is kind of the sucky part, is because I got to hold this thing. I mean, I want it on a stable spot, but me having to hold it in my hands just makes it wave all over the damn plane. Rumors in your sandbox. Rumors have always been a great tool for a GM to use to help give possible motivations to the players to go investigate new things, to follow up on leads, or to even potentially hear stuff about past escapades. That's something you don't hear too much about when people talk about using rumors in the role-playing games. And it doesn't matter, once again, what genre you're using here. Rumors apply to all genres and all settings. But imagine your player characters are making a name for themselves, whether or not they realize it. And you can capitalize on some of that by taking choice tidbits of previous encounters and ventures that they were successful with or spectacularly failed at, and somehow or another it gets out and gets into the greater world and becomes a rumor that can be amusing or annoying depending on how it's applied, right? But I've always felt rumors have a great place as long as we don't overuse them. So some of the many ways to introduce rumors to the setting is outside of the tavern. You know, the most common is what's being said in the tavern, right? Or the nearest bulletin board, considering most people are not supposed to be able to read in science fantasy or in sword and sorcery and high fantasy settings. Most of the common folk don't read, right? So you use the traditional gossip, two people standing in a market gossiping about a situation or an event, or did you hear about that kind of stuff. You know, unsolicited warnings, i.e. don't go in the wood, man. You know, your group is making its way down a path and they're past a woodman, and the woodman's like, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there for no money. This time of day or this evening coming on, yeah, I wouldn't go there. You know, just taking your chances. Then, like I said, keep in mind that in most fantasy settings, the lion's share of people do not know how to read or write. This is where public announcements and town criers have their role. So somebody comes out once a day, once a week, whatever, and reads from proclamations or commentary or adjustments to this, that, the other things that people need to know or whatever. And this happens in any town of significant work, right? It's another way of dealing with it. So your group could be walking down, through a market and have a town crier at the one corner start, going on about stuff that they find potentially interesting. Then there's the local myths and stories, i.e. lost treasures, ancient heroes, etc. Lost tombs or suspected tombs. This is that, you come into a region and you hear somebody telling a story that's a myth. But most myth is based in some fact. And that's the basis for a lot of adventuring stories to begin with, in my opinion, right? And then we got intentional misdirection, which is something that I always tell players or GMs, prospective GMs, to use sparingly. Do not purposely misdirect your characters, your players, on a regular basis. Once in a blue moon, it's acceptable. Not all rumors are fact. That's a fact. Not all myths are true. That's also a fact. So having one that turns out to be a wasted trip or a bum whatever, that's okay, as long as it doesn't become abusive. I have on at least 2 separate occasions had players go out on an agenda or on a mission that they created, only to find out that all the information that they had was bogus, that it didn't pan out, or it was just an overrated situation. But I didn't just do that for laughs. When that happened, it was just kind of it just happens. That's part of that learning curve that we all cope with. But I took that as an advantage to introduce the opportunities for several other segues from that. And from that, the adventure continued in a different path. That's kind of where I'm heading with that, right? And I got the idea from a lot of this from Bandit's Keep. It's a great video YouTube channel. I would try to remember to put a link on it. Anyway, I'm Rick. You're not. Until next time.